Does it work?
I'm not your pal, buddy.
I'm not your buddy, friend.
Welcome back, everyone.
I'm not your friend, guy. We're having fun.
Indeed.
I'm still learning this new software we're using. Oh,
He's also just trying to spy on my house.
I thought you were a
camera on.
We were talking about the thing behind you. It's like it's kind of like a stage.
Oh yeah, it is. I guess there's like an entertainment. Oh, nope, wrong way. There's like an entertainment center thing there too that's like built in. But I think at some point it'll probably be like a Georgia State flag or something up there. We don't have any plans to put a TV in there, so
you could put a TV that has Georgia State like logo on it.
Oh, I mean, I guess we could, but I don't have a TV for that, and I don't care to use a TV for that. I can just hang a flag.
You can just put TVs everywhere.
I could. We got one in the living room, and one in the bedroom, and one in the guest bedroom. So
I could.
We have a guest bedroom. We have a full in-law suite. The full in-law suite has a refrigerator, an oven, a sink, all of it, and it's my barbecue kitchen.
Oh, that'd be nice whenever Kim kicks me out and I need a place to stay.
Yeah.
So
I figure all the meat will just get put in the freezer down there, and whatever we want, we'll thaw it out in the fridge. All the extra beer that we have kind of circulating that people aren't necessarily drinking, I can put that in there for guests later.
There you go.
Don't keep it too long.
Speaking of barbecue grilling, what are your intentions for Thanksgiving? Are you smoking anything? You cooking anything? Or are you just?
Nah, we're trying to be easy because we're trying to move in right now. So
easy food items for the first couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we ordered pizza from Stoned Pizza.
It
was pretty good, but it would have been better if I was stoned.
Is that like but they're just trying to cash into the whole mellow mushroom thing? Like, but there's like no qualms about it. Like, this is just a bunch of druggies.
It's
potheads that are making pizza.
Definitely.
It's like Stone Mountain.
It's also in like the city of Stone Mountain, so like it's sort of a play on both of them. Yeah,
that makes sense. You can get away with it there. I was driving to Bocce last night, and I saw an establishment that I have not noticed before, off of Cheshire Bridge, I think is where it was at La Vista, and
it was on Cheshire Bridge.
It was called Hot Girls Get Waxed. So I'm assuming it's a wax place, but I love the.
But they turn uggos away.
Exactly.
Hotties only.
Or you're an uggo and you go in there and you get waxed, and all of a sudden you're a hot chick. Like they wax that much off of you.
They bring out your inner hot.
Yeah, because they rip off the outer ugg. So when I was sitting at the light and I could see like part of the sign, I couldn't make out and I thought it said "Hot Girls Get Inked," and I was like, "Oh, it's like a tattoo parlor." That's I think tattoos can make chicks hot. I like that, and then or hotter, and but as I cross the light, nope, hot girls get waxed. So. Not sponsored, but if they want to.
We're in.
We'll do the show live.
Okay. Yeah, but no demonstrations on us.
That would be awesome.
No.
That sort of thing, but not for me. I'm not.
Oh no, not on. Well, I mean, if you guys want to do it, but I meant like the hot girls getting waxed could be.
We would watch them get waxed.
Well, yeah, it'd be background, So.
Just screams, just horrific screams.
Kelly Clarkson. You guys want to talk about playoff implications, right? Is that what you wanted to do?
I think we just were.
Boise State may actually be a top 4 team in the playoffs.
That would be awesome. Really, top 4?
So they would be number 4. And tonight they started talking about if something happens in the ACC and the Big 12, Tulane could sneak in from the American.
Two G5 conferences in there.
Well, and that's the thing. When you have the rankings filling out the rest, the at-larges, which is fine. I mean, that's a good way to do it. You have one G5 guaranteed, but then if you have the rankings filling it out, like you give more opportunities. It is what it is.
With the rankings being subjective, I think that the fear is that they would just totally, crap. I don't see a world where Boise State
And
gets
Tulane.
and Tulane, but I'm just saying to get that fourth spot, they'll just put whoever the Big 12 champion is over
We'll
the
see.
Mountain West champion. But
The Big 12 is a mess right now. So I mean, depends on who comes out of there. Boise
who's
could
in the lead
maintain-
in the Big 12 right now? Who's doing good? I don't pay attention to those conferences at all.
Let's see. Big 12. Army? No, that's not right.
Oh,
That doesn't sound right.
That's American. What? That's thanks for nothing, Google. Arizona State.
I thought it was gonna be an Arizona school. I was gonna say that. I should have said it. That's like I knew what I was talking about.
There are 4 teams tied at 6-2. Arizona State, Iowa State, BYU, and
Oh,
Colorado.
that's part of these conferences being so fucking big that you can have these teams. You can have 4 teams with the exact same record in conference and have never played each other at all.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's so dumb.
I think one of the things that we were sort of touching on though is how like conference championships have sort of like they're kind of dumb because
They
because
can be
like
detrimental.
well yeah, we were talking about like Georgia specifically this year, right? Like if they go and they win, they're going to the playoffs. If they don't go, they're going to the playoffs. If they go and they lose, they might not go to the playoffs.
They may not go to playoffs.
Potentially.
Yeah.
And
Especially if they
crazy to
lose.
me.
Especially if they lose to a Texas team who they had already beaten. Like, all right, cool. Well, you weren't good enough to do it twice, so you're out. Texas is in.
goes.
Yeah,
Right. But Texas goes.
Yeah. And
You
so it's
split-
like, well,
You split the series, but you get kicked out of the playoff.
and they're a top ranked team, and you get kicked out because you drop below 12 or
Well,
whatever.
I guess do you turn your conference championship games into just call them playoff games? This is the SEC playoff game. This is the ACC playoff game. And
but then,
once you're out, but then if you do that, then that means the loser is out of the playoffs.
I really like a championship play-in game. Like I do really actually like that being like, okay, our championship is to pick who represents the conference in the playoffs. The problem is they've like made the conferences, the best conferences just have like all the best teams, and so it's like what do you do with that? You got to spread that love around a little bit to make that make more sense. And then they're just growing too, like the SEC. How many teams do they have now? 16, something
16.
like that.
Yeah.
I think it's 37.
Crazy. Yeah,
Right.
there's just half of FBS.
It's an odd
is in
number.
the
I
SEC
think,
now.
I think it's an odd number they did, you know,
I mean,
because the odd number of digits on SEC fans' hands. Yeah.
But like those two factors are like basically make the championship dumb, right? It's like why are we even doing
Well,
this?
effectively, what you've constructed is a bracket where you have SEC teams on one side, Big Ten teams on the other side, and they sprinkle in a Big 12 or a G5 team in there just to have a play-in game for somebody else, you know?
Yeah.
So
I mean, but you want to be number 3 in the SEC, so you don't have to go to the SEC championship.
That's right. Because you'll go to this playoff. It's big enough that
Yeah.
you'll go to the playoff, but you do not have to worry about the championship, and you can just go win the playoff. Like
yeah, and like you know, there was a point in time where winning the SEC or winning your conference championship period
Meant something.
was a huge badge of honor.
Mhm.
And because like sometimes that's what you needed to do to actually make that BCS game or to
Right.
make that 4-team college football playoff. They're pointless. They won't get rid of conference championship games because there's too much TV money in it. That being said, they should get rid of conference championship games.
I think so.
Yeah. In the current environment, which is not going to change except for to get worse, basically in this context. Like, yeah, absolutely, just get rid of it.
Or if you have over 14 teams in your conference, then you have to have a 4-team conference tournament.
Like playoff, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so because
I
that
mean-
way that kind of makes it more sense because then you have your team like, you know, if I can't come into second place and even then, do I want to see the same 2 teams that played in a conference championship game be in a college football playoff as well? Not really.
Well, and it makes you still suffer for going there because like the SEC could potentially send that many people to the
all four of their top teams could end up going there and
Yeah,
they just
exactly,
play
right.
extra games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, well, the way that they've got all this structured now, it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to have a conference championship. So it's like, hey, why don't just kill it?
That's the only real answer is to get rid of conference championship games.
You should
If
never
you-
have fans of a program being like, I would prefer if we didn't go to the championship.
I mean, that was a
But-
general thought of Georgia fans. Like, oh shit, everyone lost. Now we're in it.
Well, it would
Right?
be kind of like having it would be kind of like college basketball before the conference tournaments are happen. You have your regular season champ. They'll have some tiebreaker metric that will be totally pointless because so many teams have not played each other. But you'll be like, all right,
Right.
this Georgia or Texas or whoever is the regular season champ.
It's based on
But yeah.
attendance. Average attendance is the tiebreaker. No.
Oh, that we will never
Shit,
make
we'll
it.
never.
Well, we were
We're-
never going to be in the tiebreaker anway, so.
No.
We would never even make it into our own game.
I mean,
Yikes.
close. But can you imagine the college football if somehow it's 2 G5 teams? How quickly the P5 or P4 will be like, okay, we're fixing this. This is fucked up.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
if they
Well,
win.
well,
If there's a
obviously,
Cinderella, like if Boise just like goes to like the semis or something, you know?
Well, I mean, so they would have, depending on how you look at it, they would have a little bit of advantage. They get a week off to kind of chill. The other team plays an extra game, chances for injuries, stuff like that.
Right.
And so you see what happens. The disadvantage would be, sometimes taking that time off beforehand, you get a little sluggish or something. But also,
You do.
you miss out on that home field advantage you could get if you were playing in one of the very first games in the first rounds of the college football playoff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It'd still be
also
crazy.
heard an argument from the same person who was excited about Austin P and didn't know who else was playing in the conference or in our tournament this year, or that we just played in basketball. That some coaches may not want to play extra games because their good players might play too well and get taken because like they can transfer freely. And I'm like, that's any coach that's thinking that way should be fired. Just fired, like instantly. Like you're too afraid to play a game because your players might be too good. Like go
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Pretty
That
sure they'll
player's-
show
Go
up in the other
literally
games.
go coach anywhere else.
That player will be gone anyways.
I was gonna say,
Exactly.
yeah, they're gonna play in games during the season. Who cares if they play 2 more?
I could see
Yeah.
other people thinking that though, and it's like that's not good.
Well, that you don't have you're talking about playing these extra games in the playoffs. Like there, no player is going to just like bolt out of the playoffs while they're
No,
in the playoffs. That's just not going to happen. Like, oh, we just won our first round game, and all right, I'm Boise State, and who is it? Was that Austin something other guy? They've got that running back that's fantastic. The Heisman front runner guy, whatever, running back, whatever. So you got him, and they make the playoffs. Like, all right, we are a 4 seed in the college football playoffs, and then Michigan comes knocking on the door and be like, "Hey, if you enter the portal right now, we'll pay you $6 million."
80K. Ooh, 6 million. Okay.
that's
they're paying-
tampering, David.
I'd be
That's
in the
not gonna
portal in
happen.
2 seconds.
Oh no! Oh, sorry. So then, Austin's best bud lets him know that he heard from a third-party agent that if he decides to enter the portal right now, he will get $6 million a year at Michigan.
That sounds legit. That sounds legit. Yeah.
They're already paying that Underwood kid $10.5 million or whatever it is, $2.5 million a year. So
That's crazy.
Still,
You know
just
what else is-
weird stuff going on. I don't know.
You know what else is crazy? I just Googled Big 12 championship. There are 9 teams still alive and 256 scenarios that could determine placement.
it all comes down to it comes down to not only who wins or loses this week, but also by how much they win or lose by. Because if you have that many scenarios, then it's not just wins or losses.
Because
It's
tiebreakers and stuff.
It's head-to-head competitions,
Jesus.
like how much you beat this other team that you played by that we also played, and yeah, it's
That's gonna be crazy. Now I can see why, depending on who gets in, Tulane could sneak in that last slot. as
Are we
the-
gonna be? I mean, so let's assume that it's another school other than Tulane, another G5 program other than Tulane. Are we fans of the G5 programs when they go in there? Are we wanting Boise and Memphis to win?
Do we get
Well,
more money?
I'll be a
Is it
Georgia
G5?
Georgia fan in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
But I'm saying as a Georgia State fan, not as somebody who grew up in Athens, not as
Yep.
someone who grew up being a UGA fan, but as a fan of Georgia State, are you rooting for the G5 program to do well in the
I think
playoffs?
I'd rather see it, but I don't know about rooting for. But I'd rather see that. Yeah, I think it'd be funny, like to stick it to them. The very first year we expanded the playoffs, and like a G5 program goes and does
Wins that
what
first
I've been.
game.
It's what I've been saying too. Is like what they're missing out on are the Cinderellas, right? And like we get that, and then there's probably going to be some hoopla about that, which would be great, and I bet it'd be really good for college football.
Yeah. But what if you had two of them?
It'd be
That'd
great.
be crazy.
Even better. It'd be like, why wouldn't you ever let us in this before? Oh, right, because you just wanted all the money. Not because we weren't good enough, but because
Damn
you just
it,
wanted all the money. I
everything's
mean, we
about
were
the
not
money.
good enough, to be very clear. Like us, we will be next year.
No.
We will be next. We're going to win it all next year. But up until now,
That's
we've not been
destiny.
You know what sucks
Right?
about next year is we're going to start off with winning that game at Ole Miss in the Grove or at the Grove, whatever the fuck it's called, and we're just gonna have the target. We're gonna have the target on our back the entire time. I mean, we'll win all of the games,
Right.
but it's just man, just like you know what, it'd be nice to kind of come in as like the quietly, come in by beating a Furman and then. I don't know, a Kentucky or something like that, and then you get in your conference schedule a little bit, and then you knock off an LSU or something before they have their rivalry game, and all of a sudden you're kind of like, oh crap, this 12-0 Georgia State team is going to win the whole goddamn thing.
How do we change the playoff at the end of the season?
To keep them out of it.
We can't let destiny happen.
No,
it's been.
Could you imagine the Reddit explosions if somehow, some way, Georgia even made it to the playoffs? Like, not even like won the championship, but like you would probably have like every Reddit college football, and there are a lot of Reddit college football nerds out there. There's like, oh man, there's so many. We would have the entire Reddit college football like fan base on Georgia State side.
Oh yeah,
unless we were playing their team.
Right. Then you need to lose. Get out of the playoff.
But I do think if a G5 program goes pretty far and does a little Cinderella thing in the new playoffs, that will help with some of this like transfer portal stuff because coaches can go out there and be like, look, we can do this. Like, there's no reason we can't do it. It's not stacked against us. You come here, you play well, we win games. We're gonna go and we can win the whole thing.
Do you think that happens, or SEC and Big Ten say, well, we got to change this, and now only the top 4 conference champions get in?
Well, I think a lot of people will call them assholes for it, but they probably will do that.
They've been called assholes for a lot less.
Oh, I know. I know. But there's only so far you can go. I don't know if that's going to be the straw, but like, something. I don't know.
But if we're going to be living in chaotic times of college football, college sports in general, let's cheer for the chaos, right?
Yeah.
Let's make it as chaotic as possible, and then let the chips fall where they lie, type thing.
Yep.
So.
I want to hurt the players, but they're more helped now than they've ever been. So I'm really happy with honestly with what the players are getting right now. So I know it's been very chaotic and detrimental in particular to our program, but I like it.
It's tough being a G5. I like the whole setup for us is not great, and like raising all that money for NIL, it's not sustainable for G5. Yeah. It's just not.
Well, it's not for Georgia State. That's for sure.
Definitely not for us.
You're
not for us for sure, but like you could say that for over half the G5.
Well, yeah. So you raise you raise McGee's mythical $350,000 in the first year.
Pretty sure it's more now.
And you get nothing. I mean, and then you finish you finish 1-7, 2-5 in conference. Are those people going to open up those checkbooks another time for next year?
You got to do it every year, otherwise.
That's my thing. That's what McGee's going to say. He's going to say, "I need more money. Give me more money."
You got to sell. You got to sell him on that, though. You got to tell him, "Hey, this is what your money's going to do." And I don't have any confidence that anybody in our development's doing that. But I have no idea what All Blue and All Nil is doing.
Yeah. I didn't put this on talk about, but you saw like UCF disbanded their collective, and they're taking everything in house.
In house.
So now UCF athletics will be managing their collective?
I thought there were. I guess people are figuring out the loopholes and stuff, because my understanding going into this thing was that they couldn't do that and couldn't have very much to do with it, honestly, with the management of it.
That changed. That was the rule, and
Oh,
it
okay.
changed. It
Oh, okay.
changed.
Yeah.
The schools can now have direct.
Right.
management
That,
of
that makes
everything.
sense. I think that makes.
think-
I mean,
yeah.
the whole making it a private whatever thing, that then it didn't make sense to me. So I that's maybe they
Well,
should
so
have done
like
that in the
my
first
comment
place.
when this came up on Panther Talk, my comment was, "Dear God, do not let Charlie Cobb be in control of the NIL."
Well, he won't do anything with it. So
That's my point,
yeah,
and he
mean,
won't be able to fundraise with it.
no, he can't fundraise his own program. So
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah. Got to increase some student fees. That's what we got to do. Got to make the students pay for it.
Can we do that
Jeez.
somehow? I don't know. I
Could
mean,
you
I
imagine?
I wouldn't hate more money for the program, but I also want us to fundraise.
But
Yeah.
but student fees should not be paying athletes.
I think student fees are one of the crutches that has made our development program not good for a long time. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
relying on it.
worse now that
It's
it's
a
been for a
crutch.
really long time, but it's always been pretty rough. And I think it's because student fees are something they can always lean on. And it's like, no, stop doing that. Like,
It's a
go earn your
crutch.
money. Go earn your
Right.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crutch for sure.
Indubitably.
Hmm.
I think that's a note we can end on.
Yeah.
Thanks, for listening. That was Last Call. We'll talk to you next week at the end of the football season and getting our pickaxes ready for that December 5th, December 20th game.
December 20th or 19th, whatever it is.
What?
Gonna
You
get-
guys saying a lot of numbers right now. I'm confused.
It's 19th or 20th. I can't remember which one.
I think we said 20th early. Anyhow, talk to you next week. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.